Capricorn, Capricorn. A decision this week changes everything. There is a decision forming within you at this very moment. You may not have named it yet. Perhaps it's just a feeling, a weight on your chest, a low voice that insists, a door you know you need to go through but have avoided looking into. Capricorn, this week, something will move. And it won't be the world around you. It will be you. Because there are 5 truths that no one has told you about what's really going on inside you right now. 5 reasons why this decision can rewrite the entire next chapter of your life. I know. You're tired of empty promises. You're a Capricorn. You don't believe in magic. You believe in structure. But what if I told you that the structure you've so carefully built is about to reveal a secret door that's always been there? Stay with me until the end. Because what I'm going to show you isn't about destiny. It's about recognition. It's about looking in the mirror and finally understanding why you've been carrying so much weight alone. If you are a Capricorn or have a strong Capricorn influence in your astrological chart, subscribe to this channel now. Leave a like, because you deserve to hear these 5 truths. And you deserve to know that you are not alone on this mountain. Let's begin. Reason number 1. You built your life like someone building a fortress. Stone upon stone, brick upon brick. No rush, no shortcuts, no need to ask for help. Because Capricorn understands something that few signs comprehend. Gravity. You know that anything that rises without a foundation falls. So you dig deep. You build slowly. You become the foundation itself. But here's what nobody told you. Fortresses provide protection, but they also isolate. You look around and see what you've built. The career no one thought you could achieve. The respect you've earned brick by brick. The rock-solid reputation. And there's pride in that. There should be. Because you deserve every inch of this kingdom. But at night, when the lights go out and the world falls silent, you can feel the echo. The sound of your own footsteps in empty hallways. The coldness of the walls you yourself built. And a question you try not to ask, but that insists. If I stop building, am I still enough? Because, you see, Capricorn, you learned early on that love is conquered, that affection is conditional, that you need to deserve to be chosen. Then you became useful, reliable, the pillar, the mountain, the person who holds up the world while the world crumbles. And everyone admires you. But admiration doesn't warm your heart at 3 in the morning. Does it? Here's the painful truth. You built so well, so high, so firmly, that people forgot that you also need to be supported. They see the mountain. They don't see the snow weighing on your shoulders. They don't see the roots you need to hold firm, even when the ground shakes. They don't see that you, too, feel small sometimes. And what about the decision you're facing this week? It has something to do with her. It's about choosing whether you're going to continue carrying the world alone, or whether you're finally going to allow someone to climb the mountain for you. Not to save you. You don't need saving. But to keep you company. To share the view. To remind you that building empires is impressive, but exist. Simply existing, without needing to prove anything, is also that. You have carried this solitude like a badge of honor, as proof of your strength. But strength is also allowing. Strength is also letting go. Strength is also saying, I build all of this. And now, I get to choose who gets in. That's the first reason. And it's only the foundation. Reason number 2. You were never allowed to fail. And I'm not talking about external rules. I'm talking about the internal tribunal you carry with you. That invisible jury that never sleeps, never rests, never stops evaluating every decision you make. Was that enough? Could you have done better? What if this doesn't work out? Capricorn, you live with a weight that others don't see. It's the weight of being, who supports to be the one everyone trusts, to be the last line of defense when everything falls apart. And you do it so well, so naturally, that people assume it comes easily to you. They don't see the nights you spend reworking plans in your head, the scenarios you anticipate, the disasters you prevent before they even happen. You're like a chess master playing 10 moves ahead, but nobody applauds the moves you make. They only see the defeat. They only see the final victory. And they assume it was luck. But it wasn't. It was you. It was always you. And here's what that created within you. A weariness so profound that you don't even realize you're tired anymore. Because you can't stop. Because if you stop, who will hold you? If you fall apart, who will lift you up? If you admit weakness, who will trust you again? So you won't admit it. You swallow. You take a deep breath. You adjust the crown and continue. But this week, something is different. This week, you're starting to feel the weight in a new way. Not as a responsibility, but as choice. Because, look, Yoha chose carry all of that. And you can choose differently. I'm not saying to abandon your responsibilities. You would never do that. You're a Capricorn. Your word is law. Your commitment is sacred. But what if you could carry it with lightness? What if you could do what needs to be done, without sacrificing yourself on the altar of expectation? Imagine this for a moment. Imagine waking up and not feeling the weight of having to prove anything, of deserving anything, of supporting anything. Imagine doing what you do, building, leading, achieving, not because it needs but why it wants. Not out of fear of disappointing, but for the pleasure of creating. This seems impossible now, I know. It seems utopian. But Capricorn, you are the sign that transforms the impossible into the inevitable. You know that. And what about the decision you have before you? It's about redefining what success really means. Not the success that others applaud. The success that you feel it. The one that lets you sleep peacefully. The one that doesn't need external validation because its internal validation is as solid as a rock. You spent so much time building for the world, which he forgot to build for himself. This week, you'll remember. I want to pause for a moment and ask you a question. Have you ever felt that way? That silent weight of carrying everything alone? Of being the mountain that everyone climbs, but that no one truly sees? Leave a comment now. Tell me, yes, I feel that way. Or share what this journey has been like for you. Because I want you to know, you're not alone on this mountain. There are thousands of Capricorns here, feeling exactly what you feel. And when you share, you release. You validate. You connect. So leave a comment below. I read every single one. And let's keep going. Reason number 3. You learn to control everything, except the fear of being vulnerable. Let's be honest, Capricorn. You are a master of control. You organize, structure, plan. You leave nothing to chance. Because chaos is a threat. Unpredictability is danger. And you swore, consciously or unconsciously, that never he would be caught by surprise. But here's the cruel paradox. The more you control the external, the less you can access the internal. You've built such a perfect mask, so well fitted, so convincing, that sometimes even you forget you're wearing one. The mask of competence, of strength, of the person who is doing well, who can handle it, who doesn't need anything. And look, I'm not saying that mask is fake. You incompetent, you unstrong, you from the account. But you are too human, and humans feel fear. They feel doubt. They feel that tightness in their chest when they look to the future and don't know if they will succeed, if they will be enough, if they will be loved when they stop to don't simply for. You hide it so well. You smile in meetings. You automatically respond, I'm fine. You maintain an upright posture, a steady gaze, and a calm voice. But at night, when you're alone, the mask is heavy, and you ask yourself, who would I be without her? Who would you be if you weren't the responsible one, the reliable one, the pillar? Who would love you if you showed your cracks? And that decision, Capricorn, that's what it's about. It's about choosing to show a crack. Just one. To one person. To yourself. Not to fall apart, but to breathe. Because look, vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is true. It's the courage to say, I don't know, or I'm tired, or I also need support. And when you do that, when you finally let go of the controller for a second and allow someone to see you, really, something magical happens. People don't abandon you. They are getting closer. Because they don't love the mask, Capricorn. They never have. I admire the mask. But they love what's underneath. And you deserve to be loved for who you are, not for what you do. This week, you'll have the chance to take off your mask. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. even if it's just alone, in front of the mirror. And when you do that, you'll realize that what you called control was, in fact, fear. And letting go of control isn't the same as losing. It is to fly. Reason number 4, you reach the top and realize that up there you're alone. There's an expression that says, it's lonely at the top. And when you first heard it, you may have thought it was just a catchy phrase, something CEOs say to sound profound. But now you know. Do you know why you are there? You climbed the mountain. You conquered what you promised to conquer. You proved what you needed to prove. And when you finally reached the top, you looked around and realized people didn't go up with you. Not because they don't love you. Not because they don't care. But because the Capricorn journey is it always has been. You never asked for company. You only offered destiny. And people admire destiny. But they don't know how to walk with you. So they stay at the base, cheering, applauding, waiting for you to come down and tell them how it was up there. And you go down. And you tell the story, and you smile, and you go back up. But a part of you, that part you won't even admit to yourself, is silently screaming, why didn't anyone stay? Capricorn, you were trained to be self-sufficient so as not to depend, so as not to need. And that made you unbeatable. But it also made you inaccessible. People look at you and see someone who doesn't need anything, who already has everything figured out, who doesn't want help. And perhaps that's partly true, but it's also armor. Because the truth you can barely whisper to yourself, is you want to be chosen too, not for what it offers, not for what it builds, but for what and you want someone who would climb the mountain just to be with you, someone who asks for nothing, someone who demands nothing, someone who just stays. And what about the decision you have before you? It's about allow that. It's about descending the mountain for a moment, not to abandon the summit, but to seek someone, to reach out and say, come up with me, not because you have to, but because I want to show you the view. You spent so much time being the mountain, who forgot that mountains also feel the wind, the cold, the solitude of the heights, but mountains also feel the sun. And when you allow someone to warm you, Capricorn, you realize that being at the top doesn't have to be lonely. It just needs to be shared. Reason number 5, the most important of all. You are about to make a decision that redefines everything. And no, it's not a decision about career, or money, or success. It's a decision about you. Because, Capricorn, you've spent your whole life building, structuring, proving, earning. And now, perhaps for the first time, are you wondering, what if I'm already enough? Let me repeat this, because it's the most important thing I'm going to say in this video. What if you're already enough? Not when you finish the next project. Not when you reach the next goal. Not when you have to prove to that person that you were worthy all along. Now, exactly as you are. Enough. That breaks something inside you, doesn't it? Because you've been conditioned to believe, that's not enough. What you need to do produce, deliver, conquer. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if everything you've done so far has just been an attempt to prove something that never needed proving? It was worthy. It was always deserving. It was always enough. And this decision, this all-changing decision, is a Buddha believe in that. It's about letting go of the weight of expectation, of control, of the mask, of loneliness. It's about finally choosing to live, not for others, not to prove anything, but for to feel the sun without planning how to best enjoy it, to feel love without wondering if you deserve it, to feel joy without guilt for not being productive. That's the decision, Capricorn. And I know it's scary, because it means letting go of control. It means trusting. It means believing that you are loved not for what you do, but for who you are. But you're a Capricorn. You've done scary things. You've climbed mountains that nobody thought possible. So you can do that too. You can choose you. And when you do that, when you finally let go, breathe, allow, everything changes. People don't abandon you. They come closer. Success doesn't disappear. It gains meaning. And you finally get some rest. Not because it stopped building, but because it started to Olivian what he built. This week, Capricorn, you're going to feel it. You're going to know what the decision is. And you're going to be afraid. But he's going to do it anyway. Because you are the mountain. And mountains don't tremble. They transform. So here's the final truth, Capricorn. The truth that transcends all others. You don't need to carry the weight of the world to be loved. You don't need to be perfect, or unbeatable, or indestructible. You can be tired, and scared, and human. And yet, even so, to be worthy of everything. Of love, of peace, of joy, of lightness. You built a fortress to protect yourself. But fortresses are also prisons. And this week, you have the key. You always had it. I just needed to remember that you can open the door. You can let the light in, the company, the vulnerability. You can go down the mountain, take off the mask, let go of the controller. Not because you are weak, but because you are brave enough to be real. And when you do that, Capricorn, the world doesn't fall apart. You are reborn. I know that was intense. I know you might be feeling a tightness in your chest right now, or tears you weren't expecting. And that's okay, because that means youthful tan feeling is the first step towards transformation. So I want to ask you one last question. Are you ready to make that decision? The one that changes everything. The one that sets you free. The one that finally allows you to live in peace with who you are. Leave a comment now. Tell me, have you ever felt this silent pain inside you? What will you choose to do with it? I read every comment, and I'll be here along with you on this journey. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share it with another Capricorn who needs to hear this. Because you are not alone. You never were. You are the mountain, and mountains support the world. But they also touch the sky. Until the next video, Capricorn, you are enough. You always have been. Blackheart.